Cutters, Degrassi, unpopular opinions. Hey there, hello there. It's Jeff Cutter, and welcoming you to another Degrassi unpopular opinion. And this is my own creation, my own monster, if you will. So a while ago, and this is being taped for November 3rd, 2021 for context, excuse me, is I did a thing called Degrassi in Money Wolves. I said, is it just me, or is Degrassi desperate for funding in a sense? A few examples of this. Season 4, there's a background conversation between Armstrong and Radich about Armstrong needing supplies and Radich saying he didn't get the school's budget funds, so he can't have Armstrong at this time. And people actually speculated that Rick was part of up the GPA so that Degrassi could get funding. Also, Season 2's Fight for Your Right talks about budgets when Radich says they're lucky to even have a cafeteria, which Emma thinks it's code for GMO Crusade being stupid. It's not, and most teens don't know how schools deal with budget issues. Hell, the whole Kevin Smith doing a movie in Degrassi may have been code for the fact that Degrassi may have lost funds in the wake of the Rick Murray situation and have trying to keep their co-first in line. Anyway, I just watched season 7's Hungry Eyes about Purple Dragon trying to sponsor stuff at Degrassi, and it sends some strange message about in-school branding, thinking that Degrassi needs funds, possibly due to Lakers merging and then trying to order some stuff to keep the hallways not so crowded. Any other money issues within the high school? Tell me your thoughts. So there were 12 comments. One guy, Gandalf the Baller, said, I mean, schools in Canada don't just lose funds and stay open and operating. I'm Canadian, lol. Well, same here. Even though a lot of the show is more American than Canadian, I disagree. I think it's more just sports and extracurriculars are very expensive. Degrassi seems to be doing those a lot. Looking for plot. Fair enough. Catch Saskatchewan. Catch Can said, in later seasons, they seem to have plenty of money for after-school events / extracurriculars. Hunter wants an esports team? Okay, you get an esports team, seemingly the next day. Simpson is given a great-tasting tomato, which, like a monster, he eats like an apple. Bang! Roof Gardener approved. Get right to it. I didn't know that Simpson did something. It was an homage to Radish's thing in season 2. I did not know that. They had to broadcast NAK to get the new computers, someone said. And I said, was that the stuff in season 1 about Emma's article? And the spot with Sean's bro? Yes. And Katak said, if I remember correctly, there isn't many signs of money issues after the OGs graduate, and none during NC. They had some elaborate dances, could always find new extracurriculars or musicals, not to mention all the security protocols during Pill's reign. Those cameras had to have been expensive as fuck. And so it said they have new computers every year, and every extracurricular imaginable. That's going to be pricey. Right. So yes, so public schools are horribly underfunded. So what I'm getting from this spot, or their 5, is that, maybe I am off my rocker a bit. But yeah, there was like subtle hints. Season 1, the thing that Emma's upset over the news report having conflicting views on things. I think it was Parents' Night. During Parents' Night. Yes, it was during the Parents' Night episode of Degrassi NG, which Emma talks to Raj about it, and Raj, basically to shut Emma up, says, why don't you write an article about it? And Emma does. And then basically, Sean's brother, who's basically Sean's legal guardian, said that, they do this so that they pay the school so that the school can have new computers so that Sean can have an education. And Emma says, well, that's wrong. And Tracker says that, it helps Sean out. However, Sean likes Emma's protests and all that. And then, of course, season 2, the whole GMO foods thing. Yeah, Raj does say that, that we're lucky to have a cafeteria and all that. That probably determines how much funding Degrassi's been getting lately, and which isn't much. So, I mean, he's got a point, and he says about the cafeteria, and he explains himself. I mean, Raj could have just left it black and white about the funding for the school, but he at least has the gall to tell Emma, Ashley, and everyone else who's protesting about the GMO foods thing that, we have budget cuts. And I mean, that's fair enough. I mean, Degrassi has to now operate from a school from grade 7 to 12 instead of 7, 8, 9, like a middle school into high school because of cuts and all that. I think that's probably why Degrassi became a 7 to 12 school and all that. So it's amazing. I mean, what do you have got to say for yourself? A lot of things. So, yeah, there's a lot of things going on here. And, you know, it's like bite me. So, yeah, the budget thing. Like, teenagers don't understand how schools get budgeting and all that. I mean, they have fundraisers and all that to get money. I guess for extracurriculars or just for school stuff in general. But of course, what got me was season 4 when everyone's talking about, the Craig and Ashley storyline that happened with Craig getting inheritance from Albert. In the background of Paige's rape trial on two-parter, is that Armstrong and Raj have a talk, and Raj says, "I can't get you the funds because I don't know how much money we've got," as in Degrassi's got. But I have a lot of teachers that are willing to that I have to get to. When do you need your supplies? And he said, "I need them yesterday." And Raj says, "I don't really know what to do." Says, "I want supplies, not yesterday, not today. I mean, not tomorrow, today." And then it's like, what the H? And then when Alex says in the deleted scene, this isn't about academics and all that, with Rick coming back to the school, and it's a subtle hint that Alex may have think that Raj is letting Rick back um, because of academics, which could mean that if Degrassi gets their GPA up above a certain level, then maybe they'll get more funds for stuff and all that. I mean, they still have like school dances and all that, but it looked like it was a bit of on a budget, like a small budget, every so often. And I feel that the school was running low on funds, and they need to supplant their coffers, if you will. So that was a little bit of a hint. And I mean, Degrassi may have lost money. I mean, why else would Kevin Smith have brought his movie into Degrassi other than trying to have his Kevin Smith's fanfic about him stealing Caitlin from Joey, a reality? But within the show, it's like maybe Degrassi lost some funding due to the fact that there was a settlement paid to Rick's parents. I mean, I think Rick's parents probably didn't get as big of a settlement because of the fact that Rick's a school shooter, so they lost some money. And also the fact that they probably may not have been able to keep the money because more often than not, I think that when they find out about the gun being all willy-nilly in the home and all that, I think that they lost some of that to the police. The police may have fined them and put them on probation. And then, the Murrays left Toronto because of the shame of things. I mean, I think the school board was a little petty over the Rick Murray situation. Yes, Rick did shoot Jimmy and nearly shot Emma before Sean killed him. But the fact of the matter is that I think the school board was upset over the whole bullying thing and needed to make a culture change. And so Degrassi paid the price with the zero tolerance and basically maybe losing money so much so that Kevin Smith and his crew came in at the right time. I mean, it got a little bit elaborate with stuff and all that. I mean, season 7, like having prom at the hotel, like the Degrassi prom. Not the Lakers wasn't invited to the Degrassi prom. And, but Liberty won a contest to have Natasha Bedingfield in it. The real Natasha Bedingfield, or whatever her name is. And truth be told, like at Sheridan, the garden center I worked for 2 years ago during the summer, they played a lot of Natasha's songs, like Unwritten or Pocket Full of Sunshine and all that. I think Shoppers Drug Mart did that too, but I haven't really heard a Natasha song much at Canadian Tire because we play Stingray music and all that. It's a music service, so yes. So yeah, and I have weird memories to Degrassi about that. And I mean, who doesn't? Anyway, regardless of that, yeah, like it was elaborate. All the proms and all that, the dances, the extracurriculars. I mean, yeah, a lot of families are there. There's a lot of rich families, like the Coins, the Sinclairs, the Hollingsworths. Yeah, you can kind of guess where the money's coming from and all that. And next class didn't really suffer from a lack of funds. I think, in a sense, that's also because of Mayor Hollingsworth. He's rich and all that. He's got 3 kids attending that school. And he probably figures that if he puts money in that school to help Degrassi out, then Degrassi, in exchange, Degrassi will bow down to him. And that's why Simpson didn't really seem to expel Miles for the fire in season 14, or Hunter for his bringing a gun to the school dance trying to get Maya, but was headed off at the pass by Miles, or basically Frankie's racism thing. I think that Simpson knew that if he put the Hollingsworths and expelled them, he was going to face the wrath of Mayor Hollingsworth, and he may get the school board to get on Simpson's case. I feel that the school board was a little nervous about Simpson coming back after the Degrassi Nudes situation, in which he was cleared of everything. My personal fanfic is that they hired J.D. Wallace as vice principal to make sure that Snake didn't make any moves. And if Snake had faltered, then JD was supposed to tell the school board everything. And then, Simpson would be fired. But JD stands up for Snake and, blasts the school board high and dry. And in my fanfic, I actually wave a gun at them and they back off. And Simpson has appreciation for me. But then, I fuck everything up by attacking Shay for her being angry at me for trying to help her with her volleyball thing. Regardless, that's neither here or there. So the simple fact is that, yeah, I think that Degrassi did suffer financially in the early parts, but in the late parts, they had a lot of rich families coming over. Like the Coins came over from New York City, and the Hollingsworths, their net worth, and a lot of rich people and all that. So I think they didn't have any issues because of the money that the parents made and going into Degrassi school, and Hollingsworth using his money to make Degrassi grovel at his feet. It's true. Fight me on that. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Thanks for watching.